Hello everybody, and welcome to the World Sim Racing Competition, or WSRC, where racers compete for cold hard cash in races hosted by us. And today we have our biggest stakes yet. $106.25 is going to be split among the top 3 races of today. Today we are racing on Circuit de Ledenon with the Toyota GR86, and in qualifying we have Elder in P1, Polo in P2, Omet in P3, Juan in P4, and Isaac in P5. And to those that tuned into our $20 winner takes all race yesterday, you will notice that these names are familiar. We have Elder, Polo, Omet, and Juan in the race for a second time today, looking to get more cash. And this will be particularly interesting for Omet and Polo, as in the last race, Polo was able to come P3 after scraping his way back up from P10 after a horrific crash on turn 1, and Omet came 4th just behind Polo. So we'll see if Omet will be looking to try and get past Polo and beat him this time in the race. Elder was able to secure a nice and easy win last race, so we'll see if he'll be able to glide back to victory today, or if he's going to have to fight tooth and nail for that extra prize money. And we are currently off into the outlap. This lap is really just about getting some warmth, getting some heat into the tires. Because, especially with a Toyota GR86, if you don't have those tires warm, you're going to be understeering quite a bit. As you can see now, the Red Bull is just going side by side, weaving a little bit, just to get some heat into those tires. That's what this first half lap is all about. And now as we exit the first corner, it's up to Elder to decide when to press the gas and start accelerating to get a good lead. And it looks like he has begun. The green lights will pass shortly as they cross the checkered floor. And we are off into the first highest paid prize pool race of the World Sim Racing Competition. Expect the elbows to be out this race. We have Elder in P1. Polo is still in P2, Omet in P3, Juan in P4, and Isaac in P5. The order has not changed as they go through the triple gouache and enter into the hairpin. Polo may be looking to the inside to make a move, but for now, he's playing it calm, cool, and collected. You need to remember that in this race, it isn't winner takes all. It's the top 3 get an even split 33% of the prize pool. So you have to think strategically. Are you going to race for pride or for money? Are you going to risk it all and put it on the line to say you came first in the World Sim Racing Competition? Or are you going to play it safe and maintain your position in P1, P2, or P3 to secure the cash? It looks like Juan is actually challenging. Juan is right on Omet's tail, looking to get in that slipstream and make a move on one of the corners. Same as Isaac though, so we have 3 very close contenders trying to battle for P3. P1 Elder and P2 Polo have a 1.1 second gap, so they'll just be cruising through, hoping that no one tries to challenge their position. It looks like Omet was able to grab a little bit more distance coming through that final turn, but Isaac is right on Juan's tail, looking to make a name for himself and move up to P4 to hopefully challenge for P3 and get within the prize pool. As we can see, the field is starting to split up a little bit more. 1.5 seconds between P2 and 2.8 seconds between P3 and P1. It may look like another easy victory for Eldar today, but nothing is written in stone. As we can see, Isaac's having some connectivity issues, a little bit of netcode, something that iRacing is well known for. Hopefully it doesn't throw off Juan too much, looking in his rearview mirror, seeing a blinking car. It looks like Omet was able to increase that gap to 1 second between Juan. He would have been sweating in his pants for a little bit there, but he's able to increase that gap, and hopefully, in his mind, he is thinking, if I can just secure this pace, if I can stay consistent, not make any mistakes, I'm taking home some cold hard cash. Let's tune back in with Polo. As we can see, Eldar is just increasing that gap. 2.3 seconds now. Both Polo, Omet, and Eldar were phenomenal in our last race for $20 winner takes all. That's why they decided to sign up today for more money, more risk, and more stakes. And so far, it looks like it may have paid off. But time will only tell. Racing is unpredictable, and we're only 3 minutes in to this phenomenal race. For those that just tuned in, this is the World Sim Racing Competition, where anyone, any iRacer, can join the race and get paid cash. This is a 15-minute sprint race, and it looks like some times are in for the last lap. We have Eldar with a 1:33.3, blisteringly quick times, Isaac with a 1:35.7, and it looks like P2, 3, and 4 have all had off tracks, so we actually aren't able to see what lap times they got because they went off the circuit. Sometimes it's what's necessary in those first couple laps. You need to push a little bit harder than you would like to maintain your position and maintain your lead. Sometimes you're happy to take that 1x or 2x, just like Omet did there, to ensure that no one behind you is able to get a better run and pass you on the straights, on the corners, or anywhere else on the track they feel like it. And especially now, because a lot of money is on the line, $106.25 USD. Oh, and looks like the pressure may be getting to Omet. He is stacking up X's after X's incident points. And with this race, we have a maximum of 17 incident points before you are disqualified. So it doesn't matter if Omet's in 3rd place. If he stacks up too many incident points, that's goodbye to our friend. And that would make Juan be eligible for P3. So that's why you never really know if it's over until it's over. Juan, if he doesn't lose hope and he stays close, he could just be banking on Omet getting too many incident points, putting pressure on him getting kicked out of the race from DQ, and then Juan takes the money. So you never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of racing, the beauty of iRacing, the beauty of the World Sim Racing Competition. As we see, if we tune in with our leader Eldar, he is just extending that gap beautifully, putting in blisteringly fast lap time after blisteringly fast lap time, and all it takes is completing each corner 0.1 seconds faster. Think about it like this: if you have 12 corners in a track and you complete each corner 0.1 seconds faster than your rivals, by the end of each lap you're going to extend a 1.2 second gap. It may not sound like much from corner to corner, but when you accumulate everything together, 1.2 second lead every lap over a 15 lap race, you're winning by close to an 18 second margin. So this really shows that intricacy, precision, determination, and focus is what you need to be a winner, to be able to take home the prize and the pride. And that looks like what Eldar is made of. But as I said, you never know until you see. Mental fortitude is a big aspect of racing. Paulo setting in a blisteringly fast lap time, I believe a PB that we have seen from him on the World Sim Racing Competition with a 1:34 flat. That is challenging Eldar's times, only 0.7 seconds off. If Paulo is able to consistently put in these times, he will be able to increase that gap between him and Omet, which has decreased to only 0.6 seconds as I've been speaking for the past couple of minutes. Omet may be looking to fight. If he's able to get in Paulo's slipstream, then we could be seeing a lovely fight between P2 and P3, looking to increase their level of satisfaction, because winning money is not enough when you're a true-bred racer. You need to always push, and as famous quote by Senna, if there's a gap, you have to go for it, otherwise you're not a true racer. That gap is maintaining, it has decreased now to 0.5 seconds. Paulo is going to feel the pressure, seeing Omet in his rear view mirror, filling up his screen. It's hard to think of the mental fortitude and resilience that it would take in this moment from Paulo to not make any mistakes, to not miss your braking markers, to not overshoot the apexes when you see a fierce competitor right behind you. You almost need to have blockers like what they put on the horses during the races and ensure that you have tunnel vision and focus straight. But this also comes at a consequence, because if you completely ignore your mirrors, then you never know if the person behind you is going to go for a dive bomb or an escape or a surprise attack. This is one of those things where you need to balance the risk versus reward. You need to be able to calm your own mind and understand that you need to learn to observe your surroundings and not make that dictate how you race. And now the gap has extended a little bit, back to 0.6 seconds. So Omet will be feeling the pressure of trying to chase down Paulo. These two are very consistent with their lap times. Omet put in his first valid lap of the race with a 1:34.1, only 1/10 off our second place racer. And Elder in P1 has just extended this gap beautifully, 5.4 seconds. And as we look at Juan, he is in 9.9, and it looks like an incident has happened with Isaac, as I believe he is out of the race. He's not out of the race, that was a small malfunction. But it looks like as I swapped, Omet did a move and was able to pass. Let's get an instant replay of that. And it looks like Omet was just able to take the inside line and go side by side with Paulo. And Omet is able to make the pass. Paulo goes, I'm not going to go side by side for this extremely fast bend. It is not worth it to me. He knows that in P3, he will still be able to secure money. But we will now be seeing if Paulo, will be racing to get back P2, or if Paulo is just happy to take home the prize. It looks like he gets a better run out of the final corner and goes side by side with Omet, entering the triple gouache after this initial checkered floor. And he's able to get a better run and just get a tire ahead of him as he takes the lead on the 8th lap of this race. This is a fierce battle between Paulo and Omet. Omet is now on the inside as Paulo is on the outside, but that turns into the inside as he finishes a triple gouache, leading into the hairpin. Paulo is in the advantageous position right now, as you always want the inside on tight hairpins, but Omet is challenging around the outside. Unlucky for Paulo though, the outside turns into the inside, leading into this left corner, and now Omet has the advantage as he moves into P2. Paulo taking a wide entry line, trying to maximize his exit speed, but he is not able to get the move done, and he is right on Omet's bumper as they head through the high speed corner. You would have to have balls of titanium to go side by side through there, knowing that you have guaranteed prize money in P3. So I'm willing to say Paulo did the right thing there, staying behind Omet, waiting for a safer chance to make the pass. And now they're side by side, bumper to bumper, 0.2 second gap. Paulo is just waiting for Omet to make a mistake, or waiting for a chance to dive down the inside. If my intuition serves me right, Paulo will be waiting for this final bend, hoping to get a better run and duplicate the exact same move he made last lap. But it looks like luck may not be in Paulo's favor, as Omet did not make a mistake. Paulo, however, though, is getting a better run, utilizing that slipstream. He is going to be gaining 0.1 seconds roughly from that slipstream. Will he look to dive to the inside or stay behind? He is staying behind. We have 4 minutes left in this race, and the stakes have never been higher. Paulo looking to the inside, but Omet cutting him off, saying, no, you're not getting that position. Omet clearly feeling the pressure and going wide, cutting back across, giving Paulo the inside line, but Omet isn't opening up. He isn't keeping his racing line, he's just cutting straight through across. He knows that he has that advantage, that distance ahead of him, so he is able to move wherever he wants. He isn't playing defensively because he knows as soon as he plays defensively, Juan will start catching up. He's only close to 2 seconds behind now. So he and Paulo need to work together to race fiercely and maintain their prize, but Paulo is not giving up an inch. And Paulo looks to the inside now. Omet goes wide, he goes onto the slippery side of the track, and he loses close to 2/10 as Paulo makes the clean overtake. Is Omet looking to strike back now, coming through the final turns, or will he just stay put, returning back to his qualifying position of P3? Paulo will be absolutely joyful with that move. That was brilliant racing by the two of them. 2 laps of bumper-to-bumper racing. Omet and Paulo now within 0.2 seconds of each other. These two racers have fought fiercely, like they had in the race yesterday for $20 winner takes all, and today now with a $106 prize pool for the World Sim Racing competition. The stakes have never been higher, and we've seen that now with the elbows out, except it has been extremely clean racing from these 5 individuals on the track today. Eldar has been putting in phenomenal lap times once more, with what looks like a 10-second gap to P2. That is absolutely incredible, and it's also to be expected, because when P2 and P3 were fighting, they ended up simply losing time and letting Eldar extend the gap. He would be absolutely chuffed with his position right now, because he's able to cruise for these last 2 minutes and secure almost guaranteed money, assuming he doesn't go into a sandpit or lose out. It looks like Omet has put his foot off a little bit off the gas and is going to hopefully try and take this home. The gap now unfortunately isn't showing on our device, but from the looks of it, it looks roughly to be 4/10, maybe 5/10. So Paulo has been able to extend that little bit more to give him some sense of security, but this would still be extremely nerve-wracking. His heart rate would be going 1,000,000 miles an hour right now. It would be if it was me racing. With $106 prize pool split between 3 races on the line, and only what looks like perhaps 1 or 2 laps left, you're going to have to really focus and lock in to make sure that you don't make any stupid mistakes so your opponent can get past you. As we now enter the triple gouache, it looks like Omet isn't pushing too hard to challenge. He isn't doing any dive bombs to the inside, which is the smart move. He has a 3-second gap to the racer behind him. Omet getting probably another incident point right there. He would need to be start checking his incident points, because if he gets too high, he will literally throw the race away with a disqualification. These are the things that you need to take in consideration when you're racing for the World Sim Racing competition. You have to balance the odds. You need to balance the rewards, how aggressively you attack, because if you end up taking damage to the car, you don't have time to pit. It's only a 15-minute race. It looks like this will be the final lap of the race. Paulo and Omet very close, within 0.2 seconds of each other. Eldar, who probably may have passed the finish line and secured first place at this time. I'm not going to swap just in case we see a last-minute overtake from Omet. A desperate attempt to get P2. He is right on Paulo's tail. Paulo feeling the pressure going through this final turn. He knows he cannot mess this up. It looks like Omet goes wide to try and get a better exit. They are right on each other's bumpers. Omet will try and pull out to the side, but it doesn't matter because Paulo has secured 2nd place, Omet 3rd place, and our 1st place victor for the 2nd time in a row. Eldar Nuhi. Phenomenal race from all 5 races. Amazing win by Eldar with a 10-second gap for the 2nd time in the World Sim Racing competition, this time for higher stakes. Eldar, Paulo, and Omet, P1, P2, P3, will be taking home the $106 prize pool, split equally between the 3 of them. Congratulations to Juan and Isaac for putting in an amazing effort as well, with some great lap times there. If you want to participate in our next sim racing competition for money, head over to WSRC.live and sign up. All iRacers are welcome. Thank you for tuning into the stream, and I'll see you next time.